In my last video, I told you the biggest myth about Kundalini Yoga, that Kundalini is dangerous. And I explained that Kundalini energy is your untapped potential, and that is nothing to be afraid of. Another common myth is that the practice of Kundalini Yoga is not a very physical practice, and all you'll do is sit around doing this very noisy breathing technique. Not true. Let me tell you about the breathing to start with. Breathing is the foundation of all yoga. So if you think it's not important, think again. The best way to describe yoga is as a breathing practice accompanied by movement. Let me tell you why that's so important. Your rate of breathing and state of mind are inseparable. If you can learn to regulate your breathing, you can learn to calm your mind. Remember I told you in a recent video that anxiety is top of the list of reasons why people start a yoga practice? Well, what's your breathing pattern like when you're anxious? Short, erratic breaths, right? The breath is erratic. And guess what? So are your thoughts. Do you see how the breath and the mind mirror each other? A regular practice of yoga creates automatic physiological conditioning to calm your breath, to calm the mind anytime you sense your anxiety building. If you dedicate to a regular practice of yoga, your incidence of anxiety is going to go way down, but you have to do it to believe it. Now remember I mentioned a noisy breathing technique? There's this rapid breathing technique unique to Kundalini Yoga, and it's called breath of fire. There's a ton of benefits to this technique, but one of the most significant benefits of breath of fire is that it activates your third chakra, your power center. This is the area around your abdominals, and just as the name implies, it's your center of personal power. This energy center governs your self-esteem, your courage, your stamina, and your willpower. And when you learn to fire up your power center, well, you'll be on fire, because this energy center is responsible for the beginning of the release of your Kundalini energy, your potential. What gets in the way of your potential? Well, you do. When your power center is imbalanced, all of those qualities that are so important, willpower, self-worth, commitment, they're all affected. I worked with a student, Leslie, who was incredibly bright and talented, but her confidence was so low that when she had to present her ideas at work, she would just clam up, and so she was constantly passed over for promotions. She started practicing breath of fire along with her daily yoga practice and decided that each time she had an important presentation, she would get ready by doing a few minutes of breath of fire. And guess what? Just that one simple change created a huge shift in her energy, and now she shows up powerfully in her meetings and presents her work with so much more confidence. And she feels like she's finally being recognized for her talents. So here you have a very simple technique that anybody can do that can have a dramatic impact if you practice it regularly. Do you know anything else that can work that quickly? If you think about your options to build self-esteem, well, a lot of self-help experts will tell you to build back your self-worth by repeating positive affirmations. Well, good luck using affirmations when you're feeling shitty. The only thing looping in your mind when you're feeling down are negative thoughts. And when you're feeling that negative, it's almost impossible to get yourself to repeat affirmations. The other trap you might fall into when your self-worth is low is to try and build it back by chasing material things or following someone else's idea of success. And that will only ever lead to burnout. There are so many simple technologies like breath of fire that you can start doing right now that will have a huge impact on your self-worth and your happiness. You can learn more by joining the conversation in our private Facebook group. Okay, and in my next video, I'm going to tell you more about how you can get a great workout doing Kundalini Yoga.